leave any brand names off of it. So that was a kind of a rookie mistake on my part. She said they didn't fit her doll, but after placing them on her doll anyway, something along those lines, the shoes broke. And I was like,
what?
Well, it wasn't worded exactly like that, but I mean,
you know,
happened. I was doing the math in my head, and I was like,
serenity now.
Serenity now. Hi, and welcome to our What Sold video for August 4th through 17th, where we will go over every item that sold across multiple platforms for our reselling business. This video is going to cover 2 weeks because I'm not going to sugarcoat things. We had a really bad 2 weeks, mostly because we were out of town and our stores were on away mode. So let's dive in and we'll go ahead and let you know what we did manage to sell in this 2 weeks. All right, the first thing that sold was a lot of 2 Greenbrier gray and green 4-inch mini action figure M16 toy rifles. And those came out of a thrift store toy bag. We paid just 22 cents for those. They sold for $12.99 on eBay. Next up was a lot of 2 sets of double 6 dominoes. They were each in small little travel size cases. Those were gifted to us to sell. We had no cost. They sold for $19.99. Next up was 6 1993 Don Ross baseball cards. They all sold to the same buyer. Those were Cevin's, and they sold for a total of $14.66. Next up was a lot of 3 National Geographic magazines. They were just random ones that we had gotten and lotted together from December 2000, September 2003, and May 2004. Those we got on Facebook Marketplace from a free magazine pickup, and they sold for $12.99. Next up was a Love Tree. That was the brand. This was an army green fur-lined hooded bomber jacket. It did have, I think, like a little stain on the sleeve, which we disclosed. This came out of the Goodwill bins. We paid $1.68 for it. It sold for $24.99. It did have a lot of interest for a really long time, but we just could not get it to actually sell to anybody.
Not really a brand you would pick up anywhere else.
No, it was just really
cute.
She
just picked it up because it was cute, and it was in the bins.
Yeah, but I didn't see the stain, so I think that's what prevented it from selling, maybe. Next up was a Living New Testament Bible on audio cassette. We got this at the thrift store for $1.08, and it sold for $19.99. These sell.
They sell all the time.
Yeah.
I buy them anytime I see them, and they're complete.
We don't buy them anytime we see them, because we see them literally everywhere.
Well.
But we buy them as we sell them, kind of.
Well, no, I buy them every time I see them if it's a certain type.
Okay.
Like there's lots of cassettes, Bible cassettes on tape, but a lot depends on the clamshell, how cool it looks, how the graphic looks, who it's narrated by something.
They're all narrated by
almost all are
Alex
Stanley Scourse. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
If I see it, a lot of it has to do with the case.
Yeah.
Or the content. Like the more specific, the better. Like
it all contains the Bible.
Well, we have some that are like on Romans, the book of Romans, like specificity is good too. But yeah, she's right. We do see a lot of them that I don't pick up. It's just based on looking at them and like, no, that one won't sell. Yeah. Or it'll sell, but it'll be.
They do sell.
We'll make no money.
They don't always sell fast, but they do sell. Okay, next up was a 1995 Collector's Choice Silver Signature baseball card for the player John Kruk. This was Cevin's, and it sold for $4.29. Next up was a Build-A-Bear Workshop 4-piece rainbow stripe knit scarf, hat, and mitten set. It did have, I think, some damage on the scarf maybe. And we got that at the Build-A-Bear garage sale. We paid just $1 for it. It sold for $13.50 on Mercari. Mercari sales have been way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our Mercari sales are in the toilet.
We have not been cross-listing as much as we need to be, but Mercari sales have been down for sure. Let me know how your Mercari sales are doing. Next up was an antique 4-inch Bath Suite perfumed luxury for the bath tin bottle that we listed as advertising. We got this at a rummage sale for $3.25. Technically, we probably paid less, but we just averaged our cost of goods.
Everything from that sale was $3.25 in the end.
Yeah. And that sold for $12 on eBay. Next up was a boys infant 12 to 8 months Thomas the Tank Engine costume by the brand Disguise. This came from a garage sale. We paid $1 for it, and it sold for $19.99 on eBay. Next up was an Arcadia Beauty gray quilted satin holiday weekender duffel bag. It was new with tags. It kind of looked like maybe it was like a gift with purchase or something.
Yeah, it was a cheapy looking bag, but it was
new with tags.
Yeah.
We got that gifted to us from friends and family, so we had no cost, and it sold for $17 on Poshmark.
And it was light.
It was light.
So it shipped really easily.
Yeah. Next up was a lot of 3 level 2 Pokemon Reader paperback books. And we got these at a garage sale for 75 cents. They were 25 cents a piece. They sold for $10 on eBay. Next up was a pair of Coach women's rubber flip-flop sandals. They were genuine Coach. We got these at the Goodwill bins for $2.26, and they sold for $23.50 on eBay. Next up was a Thunderworks dog thunder shirt.
Thunder shirt.
This is one of those garments that you put on a pet it's like kind of like a weighted blanket, I guess. Sort of. It's like a hugging thing that you put on your pet for anxiety.
Calms them down from the weight of it.
Yeah, from like a thunderstorm or separation anxiety or something like that. It was new in the box. I had gotten it at an estate sale for $2, and it sold really fast for $22.99. So if you see a new and packaged Thunder shirt, probably worth picking up. Next up was a 1993-94 Upper Deck basketball card for Vlad Divac. Is that how you say that?
Vladi Divac. And it was a Pro View, Upper Deck Pro View. That whole set was this weird blue and red. You can't really see the image on the card. You have to have like 3D glasses to see the image. It was a weird set. So
that sold for $2.39, and that was from Kevin's personal collection. Next up was a lot of 2000 era Ugly dolls. We got both of those at the Goodwill bins. One of them had a really significant stain on it. You can probably see it in the picture. And we had paid $1.18 for those. They sold for $15 even.
Even with the stains
Even with the stain, yep. Next up was a vintage 1960s mod bubblegum pink. It was made out of like chunky plastic beads. It was really cute.
That was a cool bag.
I got that at a Fill-A-Bag church rummage sale for just 42 cents. I had originally listed it significantly higher, but I had interest in it. I just think I had it overpriced. I couldn't find anything exactly like it. When someone came and offered me $45, I was like, you know what? I'm just ready to get rid of this. So I accepted it, and we still made good profit on that.
We paid 42 cents
for it. We paid 42 cents for it, exactly.
I'll take $28.
Next up was a lot of 50 assorted various Gibbets croc charms. Gibbets. We got this from the Facebook Marketplace mystery box thing that we have coming up. Wink, wink, nod. We mentioned this in the last video. We don't want to spill the beans, so be on the lookout for a video series that's coming up regarding that. Technically, we paid $6.31 for this, although this has to do more with us doing this as an entertainment thing for ourselves and for our channel, and less about a sourcing thing. So these sold for $19.99 on Mercari.
And even with that really ridiculous cost of goods on that, we made $9.
I know, that's right?
Good. I'll take it.
So do pick up Gibbets or croc charms if you see them. Yeah. I discovered that Gibbets is on the Vero list for eBay. So I would recommend, and I don't know how to tell if it's a genuine Gibbets or not, but I would recommend that just don't list it as a Gibbets on eBay. Just list it as a shoe charm. I think that's what I figured out. Just list it as a shoe charm only. So we ended up getting this item delisted off of eBay for being a counterfeit item, and we just ended up selling it on Mercari. But in the future, if I ever list them, I will list them as shoe charms on eBay and just leave the word croc charms, leave the word gibbets, leave any brand names off of it. So that was a kind of a rookie mistake on my part. Okay, next up, I would like to invite you to please subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed. It is the #1 thing that you can do to support us. It's completely free. All you have to do is go down and hit that subscribe button right underneath our video. While you're at it, please make sure to hit that like button. That would also mean a lot to us, and it lets YouTube know that this is content that not only you enjoy, but that other people might enjoy. All right, let's continue. So next up was an Alex Evenings women's size small black and pink floral metallic 2-piece tank and jacket set. So it was kind of like an evening wear item for a more modest woman.
Oh, I remember that now.
This came out of a Goodwill blue box, and I think this was in the women's vintage blue box.
One of those blue boxes we got just to show you what's in a blue box, not because we were buying to source from a blue box.
Exactly. So we paid $4.20 for this, and this sold for $21 on Poshmark. That was a pretty good sale.
That wasn't bad.
Next up was a Cloud Island 14-inch giraffe plush soft snuggle security blanket, or lovey. This was one of those little plushes that has the little blanket attached to it. These sell really well because I learned this from watching Bolo Buddies. So if you guys have not checked out her channel, definitely check it out. She shares a lot of really good eBay and other platform bolos, and she shares bolos from other resellers. So it's a lot of really great curated content for you guys to find out about what you can sell over there. So definitely check out her channel. But that's where I learned about this. I would have never known to pick these up otherwise. Anyway, I found this at the Goodwill bins. We paid $2.26 for it. It sold really fast for $20 on eBay. And if you have a child who has an attachment to a lovey and they don't make that particular lovey anymore, then you're going to be willing to pay quite a lot for it sometimes on eBay. So this one was a more modern one, so you weren't able to get as much, but some of the more expensive ones or ones that are older that a child might be attached to, they will sell for a lot. Y'all would be surprised. Okay, next up was a pair of Barbie bright yellow slip-on open-toed heels or pumps. These we found in the Goodwill bins. We found a big Ziploc bag full of yellow Barbie shoes, and that one has paid off.
We're almost to the end of those finally.
Yep. We paid 61 cents for these, and these sold for $7.95. These sold while we were out of town. Actually, yeah, I think these sold right before we left town. And then while we were out of town, I got a message from the buyers stating that the shoes didn't fit her doll. And that after placing them on her doll anyway, I guess, is
after
the way she
violently putting them on the doll.
I don't know about that. She didn't say that, but she said they didn't fit her doll, but after placing them on her doll anyway, something along those lines, the shoes broke. And I was like,
what?
Well, it wasn't worded exactly like that, but I mean, I was doing the math in my head, and I was like,
this is a fat man in a little coat situation.
Yeah, we were having a Chris Farley moment. So
little coat.
So I was like, okay. So I let my frustration subside, and I responded, and I was like, well, we don't guarantee that these will fit every single doll. However, you are welcome to return the item, is what I said, because we do force a return on any time somebody's asking for a refund, because she was asking to get some of her money back, if I recall correctly. So I said, you can return the item. We'll be happy to give you your money back. We would have taken the broken shoes back. We would have given her money back. And at that point, we're out of town. I forgot about it. We were doing our thing. Got back, and later on, no return was open, and we later received neutral feedback. And then neutral feedback said, these were cheap quality. They broke after a couple days. And I did not bother to reach out to her because I knew that was fruitless. I know, and I'm sure you guys have heard also, that eBay is really no longer removing neutral and negative feedback unless a buyer has just really blatantly broken eBay policy, like they've threatened negative feedback or they've done something extremely blatant that's against the stated rules in eBay's policies, which she had not done. She had stated her opinion, whether it was right or not, on the feedback, and I didn't have much recourse on that. So I did reach out to eBay, and they politely said, no, this is her opinion. It stands.
It doesn't affect our percentage, so we don't really care all that much.
So I did end up replying to the feedback and just kind of rewrote what she told me in her message, which was, buyer indicated that the shoes did not fit her doll, but she placed them on them anyway, resulting in them breaking. She was offered a free return, which she did not take advantage of. And I stated
we would have paid for it to come back, and she just didn't do it. She'd rather write a neutral feedback than go to the post office.
Right.
Or put it in the mail, even.
So I felt like that was a very factual way to respond to that. We left it at that, and I thought I would just share that with you guys on how we handled that situation in the event that you have a similar one. So.
And all that over something that we made $1 on.
I know, right? So frustrating.
Serenity now. Serenity now! I'm wearing my Vandalay Industries shirt.
Yeah, you are.
Serenity now.
Serenity now.
Serenity now.
Next up was a Banana Republic women's size 10 blue and black shimmer stripe pencil skirt. This was new without tags. I'm not sure how I knew that, but it was, I guess. We got this at a thrift store for $3.78. A super cute skirt. I don't know why it took so long to sell, but it sold for $19.98.
I used to pick up Banana Republic stuff all day at the thrift store, but it just doesn't sell that fast most of the time.
Okay, next up was a Banana Republic, again, women's gray plaid sleeveless top. It had a little peplum on it. This we found in the Goodwill bins for $1.41, and it sold for $16.99.
Peplum? Is that like Pepsi?
It's like a little ruffle at the waist.
Oh.
Yeah. He's learning new stuff all the time.
It's got peplum on it.
Next up was a pair of vintage Salvatore Ferragamo women's brown leather T-strap heels. These we got at a garage sale for $1, and they sold for $50 on Poshmark.
Nice.
Next up was a pair of vintage, literally this is what they were called, Big Mama You're Beautiful pantyhose.
Sounds like Big Mama, you're beautiful.
It does sound
that's how I would say it.
Yeah, I would say it like that too. Yeah, we knew immediately when we saw those that they would sell because it was such a unique product name. So we picked those up at the red, white, and blue thrift. You may have seen our sourcing video where we got those. We paid just 80 cents for those, and they sold for $18.98.
Nice.
Next up was a pair of Ralph Lauren women's black leather Zabrina pumps or heels. These we got at the thrift store for $4.50, and they also sold for $40 on Poshmark.
Nice. Been selling a lot of shoes lately on Poshmark.
We've been having a lot of good Poshmark sales. Have you noticed that like our Poshmark sales in general have increased? And
they've drastic. I mean, we hardly ever sold anything on Poshmark, but now we're getting a few a week at least.
Yeah, and not only have the number of sales increased, but we've been getting better offers and also a lot of full price offers on Poshmark.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. I think it's just because we're in the system.
Yeah, exactly. And I would actually attribute a lot of that to Posh Sidekick.
After we started the Posh Sidekick, that's when the sales went up. So it can't be a coincidence.
No. So if you're not familiar with what Posh Sidekick is, it is an automation tool that goes in with a bot and it will share your closet. It will do party shares. It will follow other resellers and do all of the things in the Poshmark algorithm daily, multiple times a day that you don't have to do yourself. That are
super annoying and you don't really want to do.
Exactly. So if that's what's been holding you back from selling on Poshmark, if that's what you think is making your Poshmark sales not high, then maybe you should consider trying Posh Sidekick. It has really increased our Poshmark sales. I will say that it has taken some consistency to build up, I think, with Poshmark. And now that we've had consistency for a while, we are really seeing some results with it. Posh Sidekick is just $29.99 a month. And for less than $1 a day, it will go in and do all of that for you. And for me, that is like really worth it to not have to worry about going in multiple times a day and sharing my closet. I have over 700 items in my closet. So to go in and have to share that multiple times a day, go in and have to follow other resellers, like other items and do all of those things, that is a lot of time, and just the mental checklist of having to remember to do that, to keep that off my plate for less than $1 a day, that's huge. So if you guys are interested in trying out Posh Sidekick, we do have a link in the description box below. You can try it out for a full 7 days for completely free with the link below. And then if you decide that you like it and you want to give it a shot, you can use the coupon code TheNinasJewels10 for 10% off of your subscription. All right, next up was a Tannerite sticker, one of the Tannerite decals. We got this at the Goodwill bins for 67 cents, and it sold for $7.99.
And we still have about 80 plus of those
We
left.
have so many of those.
But we're making like $4 a pop on them now.
Yeah, now that we can
Because
do
we can do eBay
standard
standard like you do for a card. It's great. $4 for each, and we've got 80 of them. So it's we've already made, we had to have made almost $100, 50 to $100 on those for sure by now.
Next up was a 2-pack of Clarins Extra Firming Body Lotion. It included a 3.5 ounce regular size and a 1 ounce travel size. I got this at a garage sale for $1. They were 50 cents a piece. I got a big collection of somebody's little Clarins travel bottles mostly, and they've been selling pretty well. These sold for $26.38. Next up was an Adidas Women's Infinitex swimsuit. This was like a professional swimsuit.
Yeah, it was a really nice swimsuit.
It was new with tags. We got it at a garage sale for $8.
I don't know what world this is that we paid $8 for that.
$8 for
something was wrong with us that day, or something else got rolled into.
Yeah.
Like something else, the sale was bad, so we rolled it into the cost of this. But
and it did take a long time to
$8
sell.
for us
is. This took a long time to sell too. So that sold for $30 on eBay. I mean, we made money,
$10. Even with the $8, we made another $10.
Deciding to pay $8 for that.
Yeah, that's unlike us.
Next up was a lot of 6 international stainless Grand Royale pistol handle steak knives.
Pew, pew.
Those we got at a rummage sale for $2, and they sold for $20 even. Next up was a pair of vintage Kindle. They were actually like not Mattel branded, so they were like clone dial.
So you don't want to force those on the doll.
So those were clone doll style. Oxford slip-on dress shoes, and no, don't force them on your doll. Although you can return them if you do, and we'll give you your money back. So those were gifted to us to sell, and they sold for $8.18. Next up was a really good sale. This was a Denim & Co., which I think is a Lane Bryant brand. This was a women's plus size 3X red denim duster jacket.
It was a large jacket. Like it was long, but it was a big heavy jacket.
Yeah. That was gifted to us to sell, and it sold for $69.99.
Nice.
There was a lot of interest in that one too. Next up was a lot of 4 Lemony Snicket, a series of unfortunate events hardcover books. It was books 1 through 4. We have sold Lemony Snicket books before, and they always sell fast, so that's a good pickup.
That's one of the things I've never read. I have no idea anything about Lemony Snicket.
Same.
Other than that Jim Carrey was in the movie.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
So that sold for $15. We had gotten those out of the bins for $2.26. Next up was a B. Makowski silver leather purse. It did have some flaws, but I will usually list a leather purse even if it has flaws, because some people will just buy it for the leather. So even if you can list it for lower, some people will still buy it. This was gifted to us to sell. It sold for $18.38. Next up was A Story of the World Volume 3. This was a homeschool book, activity book, test, and answer key. We got this at a garage sale for $4, and it sold for $24.99.
The homeschool stuff moves.
I know. I would have liked to have had room to put homeschool in the title, but I think I ran out of room. And last up was a Ruhi women's black leopard bandage bikini swimsuit. This was new with tags. This we got out of the Via trading box, and it sold for $14.88.
Considering we were out of town.
Yeah. So we were out of town.
So we didn't list anything for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
probably before and after, because we didn't.
No, that's not true, because I had a few listings banked.
You had some banked.
And I was listing like one listing a day for about 2 weeks until I ran out. And it was pretty slim sales. I mean, eBay did not like the one listing a day.
So one listing a day, and then there was like a week of nothing.
Yeah.
Where we didn't list anything, and the store was on hold for 2 full weeks.
Yeah, 2 full weeks.
So this is all, most of this happened, at least half of this happened when the store was on hold.
Yeah. So all of the sales that we just told you were from August 4th through 17th. So let's go over what our numbers were the first week, which was August 4th through 10th. So that week, our total number of sales was just 22.
Very low for us.
And our average sale price was $17.28.
Again.
Our sales totaled $380.19. And our net profit was $183.57, which literally was the lowest of the year. That was literally our lowest week of profit for the year.
So let's see, that's 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
That means we made...
No, that's just 1 week.
Oh, that's just 1 week?
Yeah.
So that means we made $20-something a day.
Yeah.
In actual profit.
Yeah.
Not in sales. $20-something a day, which isn't great. You can't live on that. So considering all of the side things, $20 a day, passive income basically, because we weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Okay, so then the next week was August 11th through 17th. That week, our total number of sales was just 14. I mean, that's abysmal.
2 sales a day.
Yeah. And our average sale price was $25.84. So this was the week when I had run out of my banked listings, I think. At some point during the week, I ran out of my banked listings. Our total sales was $361.76, and our net profit was $205.41.
I mean, that's almost $30 a day, so it actually went up a little bit.
I think we somehow managed to sell more.
We sold a couple of higher priced items. Like that coat.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there was something else in there, and some shoes maybe.
Yeah. And then we had no sales at all for the week of August 18th through 24th. So anyway, that's that. That was pretty sad.
We're gonna bury this one, and we're gonna just grow some new ones.
We'll tell you it gets better, but that's where we are. So that completes this video. I know it was a little bit depressing, but it is the reality of it. eBay and all the other platforms for that matter require you to be consistently doing activity in them.
It does make a difference.
It does make a huge difference. So if you are not consistently listing, consistently selling, consistently engaging with the platform, you're not going to be making sales.
And every once in a while, you're going to go out of town, you're going to have something to where you have to put the store on hold, but you can still be selling stuff when the store's on hold. So that part's really nice.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen every once in a while. You can't work all the time, every day of the year.
So if you learned something by watching this video, or if you were entertained at all, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button. Let us know that you enjoyed it, and we will catch you guys on the flip side.